least I think. I'm not entirely sure. I hope you guys can all hear me okay. I tried starting off me turning my phone, but um, I don't know. I don't know if it's the right angles or not. So right now I'm gonna keep it on portrait and hope that that is okay. So we will see. We will see what happens. Uh, my least favorite part about going live is I never know how to start them, and like it takes a little bit to get people in. Hey, how are ya? You living the dream? If you are, would you like to share the dream with everyone? Good, good. I'm glad. I'm glad. I wonder, because you never know how many people you're end up getting alive. It could either be a small amount or a big amount. The dream is about to evolve. That's crazy. What's happening? Anything worth sharing? Some weird sounds coming from the kitchen. Kind of sus. Oh, that sounds fun. That sounds fun. Kuzos. I've never heard that term before in my life. Oh, I can't complain. Nothing, nothing too crazy happening. Yeah, I got you. It's cousins. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I can't complain. Nothing too crazy. Just chill night. Just put my son to bed. That's really it. One of my least favorite things about using my phone as a camera is, hello Morgan, how you doing? Is that what this says, Morgan? Yeah. Is what was I saying? Oh yeah, one of my least favorite things is like my phone is my camera. So like I'm just kind of like I have nothing on me. I'm just like, good. I'm glad to hear. Anything interesting happening? Thank you, thank you. So, do you guys have to tilt your heads? Oh, okay, yeah, I see now. Hold on, let me cook, guys. I'm gonna see if there's a way. No, I think we're cooked. There's probably something I could have done in the settings before I started the stream, but I think it's too late. I want to be able to flip my phone, like the orientation, but no. Nope, I think we're cooked. Oh well, that's okay. But, anyways, I haven't done a strime? Yeah, I haven't strimed in a quite some time, so I decided to do the live strime, and so here I am striming, and I never know what I'm gonna like strime about, so I decided, you know what, I'm gonna just do what I always do, and just let's just talk and hang out. So, good evening, Rainbow. How art thou? Is thou living the dream? If thou is't, what dost thou in thy mind have on such dreams? If thou wish to share the dream with everyone, if thou dost wish. You know, I always feel like I need to have like better stories to tell, but my life is so boring. Like, I feel like some people they could just like sit here, like what I'm doing, and just like tell crazy things about their life. And it's like, yeah, like today I was chased by a bear with chainsaw hands. Like, how do you get in these situations? you wipe or let it crust? That is absolutely revolting. I'm trying to think of a sarcastic answer, but I got nothing. Yeah, I got nothing on that one. People never amaze me. The things that they just open with. And I hope you're having a good day too, man. You say you wipe. No, I definitely don't. I definitely don't. What kind of question is that? You know, Jake Joseph is asking the real questions. He's asking the real questions. But, anyways, this is always my least favorite part. Yeah, I know. I know. I'm sorry, Megan. I'm sorry. Like you just got here. Like, what is going on? Now answer the actual question, like the one. Questions like the one I asked. Do what? Did you ask me a question, Cash? You love my lamp? This one? This is just like a normal lamp. It's not even plugged in. Look at that. Or are you talking about this one here? Can you guys even see what's going on with that? Yeah, you guys can. Yeah, you're good. Yeah. Are you schizophrenic? Well, I'm diagnosed with schizophrenia. Yeah, at least when I was 14. Do a dance? No, I don't dance. I'm not a dancer. Bro, we need some real questions. We need some real Q&A questions here. You guys like my new background setup? I added my books and stuff. Are you a racist? Yes. Is schizophrenia more hereditary or environmental? So, you have a good chance of developing it hereditary. Most people that have it is heretical. It is genetic. But there obviously is environmental factors too. So, do you see things or hear things? Not in a long time. No. Not in the last like 3 years. But yeah. It's weird talking about like it always gets weird talking about like schizophrenia and stuff because I haven't done it in so long, and like my focus has been entirely on theology, and so like I'll get a question and like there's still like some of you guys still are like asking me questions, and I think most of you guys just because you don't, and it's okay. It's okay if you have a question about it, but it's just weird because it's like, I mean, how do I word this? I have on this channel. I have old content about schizophrenia. So like, it's just something that like I have to come to terms with. That no matter how much I try to change the subject on my channel, that as long as I have these videos on there, the more that's going to come up, and that's okay. Have your symptoms decreased over the years throughout treatment? Actually, my symptoms decreased when I just stopped taking treatment. That's just me, though. I'm not saying that's how it be for everybody. What did I do today? Absolutely nothing. I didn't do anything today. Well, actually, that's not true. I uploaded a video today. But technically I edited it all last night. All I did today was upload it, but that's I mean, that's really it. And then a short, there was a clip of the video, and that's really it. That's really it. Yo, I just watched your video yesterday and saw the Germany flag. Do you have German relatives by any chance? Greetings from Deutschland. Ancestry, yeah. Does it make you gay at all? What, schizophrenia? I don't think there's any correlation to schizophrenia and homosexuality, not that I know of. I've never heard anything like that. Yes, and it's in my name, exactly. Hello, Victorios. How art thou? Is thou living the dream? But I don't know. I think the thing that's made me the happiest about this whole experience is now I'm actually making videos on something that I'm passionate about and actually care about and love, compared to something that just like I feel like I'm doing something good but don't really care that much about. Like, I know I say this all the time, but like, you know, back in the day, I was all into the mental health community and all this other stuff, and then um, I don't know. I really just don't think the mental health communities are really that. Actually, I'll be honest with you. I really don't think it's that good of a community. I'm gonna be for real. Um, it almost seems to be actually a toxic community, and it doesn't seem to be effective or efficient in any way. Um, at least in my experience, and just how people are and how people act, and yeah. So, um, I found community to be better whenever uh, it's for a passion, it's for a goal, it's a drive over something. And for me, that community was religion. And so that has significantly done wonders for me. Would you ever want to act on stage? I've thought about it. Why do you go live on YouTube? I think you'll get more viewers on like TikTok or Insta. Possibly, but do you want to know here's the truth, right? Um, I always preferred YouTube. Um, I don't like TikTok really that much, and I'm really not. I'm never on social media. You know what I mean? Like, yes, I have an Instagram, and yes, I have a TikTok, but I'm just not really that active on them. And my Instagram just is like, maybe you're right. Maybe I do. Maybe I do. But I don't know. I just yeah, I don't know. I need to look into it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think it's also just because of like everything that I have done and like built with my channel is on YouTube. And plus, like, now that my content is like Christian content, uh, social media is the worst place for Christian content creators, and it has nothing to do with like atheists. Like, I oftentimes prefer atheists over other Christians. Uh, Social media is the most toxic place for Christian influencers because of other Christians, and it's just an ugly place. It's one thing if someone makes a comment or puts in their 2 cents about something, but to blatantly just be ugly about something or to blatantly be um, I don't know, not listen to reason, I guess. I don't know. It's just, it's a crappy place. You look like King Arthur from the Shrek movie. I hope that's a good thing. Glory to God, Christ is risen. Hope you are doing well, man. I am doing well. I am doing well. Hope you're doing well too, Benjamin David Freeman. Is that what it says? Yeah. I love that you are on that. You are on YouTube since it allows for more in depth conversations. That's really it. That's really it. Because, yeah, I want more meaningful conversations, I guess. It's pretty well said. Especially because, like, my YouTube channel is all about just, like, I feel like on Instagram and other social medias, other people can take the spotlight and take away from what you are doing. And, like, if I have a YouTube channel, like, it's, you get what I'm saying? Like, it still feels like that it's more meaningful. But at the same time, I think you're right. Maybe I should just go ahead and, like, try to be more active on social media. I'd rather be more active on Instagram than TikTok, just because I don't know. I just really don't really like TikTok that much. I do spend a lot of time on Instagram, but I don't spend a lot of time posting on Instagram and stuff. But I think one of the things that my goal is right now is I definitely want to get in contact with more Christian influencers to kind of be in the community, because it is kind of a niche community, especially like Catholic influencers specifically. That when there's a community that's so niche, you need to be known in it. You know. Oh, I am doing awesome, and I hope you're doing awesome too. Absolutely living the dream. I don't even know what all books I have. I got my D&D, my D&D Pathfinder book. Do any of you guys play D&D? I haven't played in a very, very, very long time. Quite some time. But I always play DM because, I don't know, I prefer being the DM. It's way more fun that way. IMO. Do you subscribe to Catholicism? Subscribe to Catholicism? I have joined the Catholic Church, yes. Today I actually did feel like I was living the dream. Felt nice after battling depression for a while. Hey, that's awesome. I'm glad to hear that, man. I'm glad that you get to be out of that right now. Hey, Sam Knight. I'm living the dream, dude. How you doing? Where you been? Hope you're doing good. I read your name. Do you have schizophrenia? Well, I was diagnosed with schizophrenia when I was 14. If you look at my channel, it was originally about my journey in educating on schizophrenia. And then 3 years ago, I found God, and I'm not saying that this is what happened, but I am saying this is what I think happened. My life drastically changed to the point to where a miracle happened, and I haven't been on medications, just gone to therapy. I haven't had any hallucinations or delusions or anything in 3 years. Uh, and so, if you were in my predicament, you probably would think it was God because it happened when I found God and gave my life to God. I'm not saying if you have any issue and you give your life to God, that's going to heal you. I'm not saying that at all. But I am saying that I truly believe a miracle happened with me personally. And that's also why I'm so I try to be so devout and my life revolves around my faith is because now I can function. I feel better. I look better. I act better. All these things. Um, and so, and I love talking about my religion. And so that's why I changed my channel. And I see it as part of my journey. Why are you compelled to be a Christian influencer? I feel God most when I talk about Him, and there's nothing that I enjoy more than speaking about God, and that's a godly thing to do. And so I thought we'll put two together because I love to teach. Teaching is my favorite thing. I want to be a teacher of theology, and so I thought, well, I love God and I like to teach people stuff. Why not put two and two together? So here I am. Hey, it's okay, Sam. Don't apologize. It'd be cool to see you create a Christian-based video game that brings God to others. That would be kind of cool. I know there are Christian gaming studios that do things like that. Let me make sure. Hi, Jazzy. How are you doing? I hope you're living the dream. Glad you could be here tonight. Welcome to the stream. Press X to multiply bread is crazy. It's crazy. Everyone's all like, I love that. That's awesome. It's like a game where you play Jesus or something. Let me clean off this table. How long have you been streaming? 22 minutes. Yep, 22 minutes and 21 seconds. So, not very long at all. Just started. I really, 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 really like what I'm doing now on YouTube, though. I really like it. I like talking about the faith. I like... Are you Christian, bro? Yes, I am. 6 or 7? 7. Oh, yeah, 7. You're my favorite streamer. Don't give up. Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you. Praise God. Yes, amen. But I like what I'm doing now. I like the content that I'm making now, and I want to continue doing it. 7 is the best. Okay, good. I'm glad I passed the vibe check on that. What about you guys? Any of you guys are of faith? I don't know how many. Are you a vampire? Maybe. I used to have a voice that would compliment every time I would say something. This sucked it not as much anymore. Oh, I got you. Okay. What part of the world are you from? The U.S. Oh yeah, like I was saying though. Are any of you guys of faith? If you're Christian, what denomination, if at all, are you guys? You got a testimony you can share. Yes, I do have a testimony I can share. It's already made. I think I can't remember if I went through the whole entire testimony. If you look at my channel, it's the first Christian video I ended up making, which is basically I'm converting. Is titled something like "I'm converting to Catholicism" or something like that, or I can't remember, but yeah, something like that. I'm trying to, but I don't know how. Be a Christian? The voice would comment on every thought I had. Yeah, I remember whenever I used to hear voices that I would hear. It seems like so long ago, even though it was only 3 years ago. Um, I didn't feel like the same person. Just saying all kinds of things. You're Pentecostal? Nice, nice. Do you play GTA 5? I haven't in a long time. It's been quite some time since I played GTA 5. Hopefully by my 80th birthday I'll be able to play GTA 6. Maybe. May God bless everyone. I gotta go for now. Alright. Alright. I understand. Do you ever feel popping or stabbing in your brain? No, I feel more like dizzy and like aware of, I don't know, it's weird. You trying to run the Diamond Casino heist? It's all diamonds this month since I got GTA. So, okay. No, man, I don't even know. I don't even know if I have that even installed. Hi, Oli Fleet. How are you doing? Do you listen to Tool? My favorite song by Tool is Sober. That's my favorite Tool song. I believe or never see GTA 6. We may never see GTA 6. Flat out. You're right. Yo, oh, Tim Ramsey. It's Tom. Tom, hey, shout out to Tim. Tim, or Tom as we call him. Yes, what's up, bro? Glad you can make it. What else can you share with us? What do you want to know? I'll share anything that I can. What what do you see slash hear? I just joined. I'm not sure if you've already answered this. Well, my channel is no longer about schizophrenia. I now talk about the faith, the Christian faith. I haven't had issues in 3 years, really ever since I started being really practicing in my faith. But back in the day, just hearing voices saying things or random things, multiple at a time it could be, or seeing things, whatever it may be. My least favorite band? Oh, least favorite. That's interesting. That's an interesting question. Um, I don't like AC/DC. I don't like AC/DC. I wouldn't say they're my least favorite per se, but it's just bands that just you hear and like, you know. Is the GTA 6 in the room with? Is the, I'm so glad you made full recovery. I'm working on mine. Hey, I'll be praying for you, dude. I'll be praying for you. Kurt Cobain's still alive? Yeah, man, that's me. We'd like to know about the games you play. Okay, so I'm a PC gamer. My On my Discord, I have a list of all the games that I play. I'm trying to think of what it's on. Oh, and if you play games and you want to play with me, add me on Discord. It's in the description to all my videos and shorts. Um, I don't know if it's my private Discord though. Oh, well, it's okay. It's whatever. Um, what games do I play? Sons of the Forest, Dead by Daylight. Lots of Dead by Daylight. Tim can vouch for me on that one. Lots of Dead by Daylight. Phasmophobia, Baldur's Gate 3, Minecraft, Left 4 Dead 2, Gary's Mod, Warzone. I recently got Battlefield 6. I need to play it more, but it's just really hard. See, 2 months ago I started playing Warzone for the first time. I didn't think I'd ever like it because I never really got into battle royale games. Uh, and then I realized I actually was really good at Warzone. Never played it before. Like first game, I almost got first place. I think my team got like second place. I was like, I actually got like not too bad. And then Battlefield 6 came out, so I started playing Battlefield 6. And it's not like Warzone at all. And I learned that the hard way, like almost instantly. Why did you choose Catholicism? That is a very good question. Very good question. And there's so much of that I could talk about for hours. But let me give like the bare basic, like, if you just want me to give you a simple one answer. For me personally, I want to have a faith that, you know, if you can trace it back to directly to the apostles themselves, to Jesus Christ himself and the authority that he gave them, and a faith that has been preserved and unchanged for 2,000 years, uh, I personally want to do that because I don't want something that's been changed or tampered with. I want something that's what did Christ initiate with the apostles. And yeah, that's very, very, very long explanation, put extremely vaguely and short. I for sure almost converted Orthodoxy because of its roots and a lot of scriptures, works that were taken out. It's beautiful, but ultimately I'm just a follower of Christ. I gotcha. Have you ever been to the traditional Latin Mass? Also, I really enjoy your content. I have not been to traditional Latin Mass, no. Uh, yeah, no, I have not. Although I think it's something that definitely needs to be experienced. I think you missed what I asked a little, but why did you choose Catholicism or Orthodoxy? Very good question. My buddy Sammer asked me the same thing. He's devout Orthodox. I believe in the authority of the Pope, and I understand it as seen in Scripture and history, uh, and tradition too. Uh, but Orthodoxy is very much a close second. Like I mean, like it's. And here's another thing too: is even if I didn't per se believe in papal supremacy, I still would probably choose Catholicism in the sense of for cultural reasons, because there are some major cultural differences between the uh, right lung and the left lung, if you will, and but ultimately have everything that I'm like both have the same things that I'm chasing, like which is the Eucharist and apostolic succession, and can be traced back from directly to Jesus Christ himself. In Euro or Nevermind? Nevermind. I prefer Nevermind. RE games? What do you mean? Have you played Dragon Dogma? I'm playing this. I've never heard of that. Have substances other than medications played a role in your life, and if so, did your faith affect that? No, not really. I mean, I, I mean, I vaped nicotine for the longest time, but oh, no. Ever played Risk of Rain 2? No, I'm not. Orthodoxy can be traced to. Exactly, that's the point I'm making. It's like both can be, like, both were started by Jesus Christ at the same time. Like, all can be traced back to the day of Pentecost. So it's just like, you know what I mean? Have you ever played any Resident Evil or Silent Hill games? No, I have not. But I would like to. I'm very interested. Catholics got better churches, but Orthodoxy got some sick outfits. I agree. I agree with that. Well, I think there's so many things that can be loved about both, and I consider both, like, yeah, I consider them both to be equally, what's the word? I don't know what the word is. I can't find the word for life of me. Hold on. We got a power scale different branches of. We got a power scale different branches of Christianity. What do you mean? Do weed help with positive symptoms? Um, I don't smoke marijuana, so if you are open to suggestions, I'd highly recommend to start with Resident Evil 2 remake. Okay, I got you. I got you. I know my cousin loves Resident Evil games and Silent Hill games too. I know he loves to play the Silent Hill remake that came out. Power scale: 1 Catholic, 2 Orthodox, 3 Protestant, 957 Mormons. No, here's the thing. No. Look, we can sit here all day and talk about Mormons, but we have to admit something. Mormons have the best lore. Okay, I'm not saying that it's true. I'm just saying they have the craziest lore. Okay, it's like it's almost like if Mormons came out in like the late 1900s instead of like the early or mid like 1800s, they would have definitely been a spaceship cult. You know what I mean? But there was no concept of that back then, so it's kind of like, you know, what it is. You get what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying, and that's no offense if you're Mormon. Come on, you have to admit some things are a little out there and far fetched. Okay, you have to say. But I mean, you know, I'm a Christian, so I guess you could say the same thing. You know, to be a Christian is kind of, far fetched. No, I don't think that was the word. No. Yeah, see, Sam Knight, you're right. Thank you, thank you. See, this is why Sam Knight. This is why you and I were destined to get married. Just why was that the first thing that popped in mind? I tried to be like, I was gonna say love of my life, but get married came to mind first. So there you go. See, that's why. You know what, Sam Knight, you're a real one. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say. Jesus Christ is God, and He loves you. That is absolutely true. And He loves you, and He loves you, and He loves you, and He loves all of you, even if you don't like it. It was the first thing that come to mind because it's the truth. You're right. It will make me blush. Mormons versus Church of Latter-day Saints. In power scaling, who wins? I probably would rather be a part of Latter-day Saints than typical like Mormons. You know what I'm saying? I mean, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I can't really put that comparison as a Catholic. You know what I mean? Because it's like I feel like if I'm not Catholic, then I'm just gonna be rebelling against like the faith. So you know what I mean? So you can't find the gaming Discord the gaming Discord link though. Oh no. So it's actually a private. Here, if you want to add me on, this, how do I type? Is it this button? Y'all were cooked. Can I not type on this? On my own stream? Hi guys. Okay, well, I don't think I can type on my own stream, but that's okay. It's actually my private Discord. It's not a link. It's like to add me as a friend. It's Schizo Ninen. SCHIZO, no space, NENNEN. Schizo Ninen. Okay. Or if you want, you could join my Christian server that I have, and then you could just add me through there. And if you don't want to join, if you don't want to stay in it, just leave it. But you can add me that way too. Are you big into philosophy? I'm not as much as I should be. Not as much as I'd like to be. I'd like to be more big into philosophy. Do you have a favorite saint? You know, I'm gonna be for real with y'all. And this may just be because of my Protestant background. I oftentimes forget to think about the saints, to pray, to saints, ask for intercession, like all the time. It's not a matter of I'm against it, it's a matter of I'm not used to it, so I usually don't think about it. Now, obviously, Mary is different, but I'm talking like, I think the only saints that I've ever asked for intercession of are Mary and Saint Michael the Archangel. Those are the only ones that I've ever, yeah, yeah. I can't find any Discord. So not on this. This is actually one I forgot to put them in. Not on this live, but any other video that I posted, like the last video I posted is in there, and the last stream I did, like the last short I did, like every other video is like stuff like those. They're for sure in the description. I apologize. I still stuck at the timing with the machines on Dead by Daylight at sad times. Tim, look, I would say that at times we all struggle with the skill checks on the generators on Dead by Daylight. Um, but as long as you've been playing, you should be better. It's just a skill issue with you. You just suck, okay? There's no excuse. There's no reason you should be blowing up Jennies still. Yeah, no excuses. Yeah, honestly, I think everyone should be somewhat involved in philosophy. I'm personally very into it, but I just think it's important as a person to just think about everything if it makes sense. Amen. I agree with that. Found awesome. Are you a vampire? Maybe. Maybe not. Oh, hey, how are you, Peruvian princess? How art thou? You living the dream? Also, would you be willing to share about how your diagnosis and finding faith helped with your mental health? Yeah. So, I was 14 years old and I got diagnosed. I started showing symptoms at 13 and I got referred to see a neuropsychiatrist uh, because my psychiatrist didn't want to diagnose me at that age because it's rare to be diagnosed at that age. It's schizophrenia. So a year later, I got in, and after he did full evaluation on me, and then he told my parent he left at one point, took my parents aside, told them he was diagnosing me with schizophrenia, and then when we got home, they told me, and then I was an atheist my whole life. I was atheist until I was 21, 20, 20, almost 21. Or no, I was 20, and and so um, also I don't know who just added me on Discord, but I got your notification. um, what was I saying? Oh yes, and then so I found my faith, and then I stopped having issues once I had my faith, and drastically changed my life and everything about it. And I've gave my life to God, and ever since I've wanted to talk about God because of how much it's impacted my life. So that was you. Okay, yeah. No, I haven't been playing in a long time. Yeah, I get that. I get that. I've only started playing recently. If it makes you feel any better, Tim, we took like what a 6 month break from Dead by Daylight. How when was the last time we played, dude? Well, anyways, me and Landon recently started playing again, and joined last night and played a couple rounds with us. And first match of the day, I was like, oh, we're gonna be so rusty. Sure enough, first skill check on a generator, blew up the Jenny, but I didn't do it the rest of the night. So you have no excuses. I will say though, that first night back, we were so nervous because we're like, damn, we're gonna be so rusty. We never did that good at Dead by Daylight ever. Like somehow taking a 6 month break and then playing Dead by Daylight like again, we just did. I don't even know. Like I never play that good ever. Like I'm like, if the killer sees me, they're chasing me. I'm gonna go down in like 10, like at max 10 seconds. No, I was able to like be stalling the killer, and people were able to work on generators. If you don't play Dead by Daylight, you don't know what the hell I'm talking about, and I'm sorry, but I have to boast about this. Um, I was breaking ankles. I was all these things, and out of 7 games we played that night, we got 5 wins, and it would have been six. The first game was actually a perfect game. We were going but my cousin went down at the exit gates when they were open, and instead of leaving, because I didn't know, I forgot I was wounded. I was going to go get him, but I didn't realize I was wounded, and I got hit and I went down, and so the other 2 people just escaped, but I went down because I went back for my cousin. But other than that, no one was hooked a single time, and every generator got done, and we got it done like that, all 5 of them. It was crazy. Anyways, hey, hello from California. I love horror films. Forgive me, I saw The Last Conjuring recently. What do you think of possessions? I imagine you believe them to be real, but how much do you know about it? I do believe them to be real, but I only know where exorcists have said, you know, this time I have a good relationship. Almost for a year now, I haven't had to do anything like that. Just work, going home, and you go back into it. That, hey, that's awesome, dude. I'm glad everything's going good for you. I'm from Virginia, currently in H3VR. What does that mean? Excuse me. I am a student of Masters of Psychotherapy and a client with schizophrenia, and I wasn't aware of his history until the fourth session, but they did share a lot about their struggles with the diagnosis. Oh yeah, yeah. It's a daily struggle when you're dealing with something like that every single day. That's a shooting VR game. Ah, I got you. Okay. You having fun? I hope you're having fun with that. My son was diagnosed with schizophrenia. It's been very difficult. It's very difficult for parents. It's difficult for everybody whenever you have a loved one diagnosed with something such as that. It's devastating. Advice for someone starting their journey with Jesus. So, I want you to first know this. The It's going to be really hard because when you live a Christian life, you often find that life is actually unhappy and you actually find that it sucks and there's a lot of suffering involved. Um, I don't know the reasons why you became a Christian. And if you were to tell someone who doesn't have the faith, yeah, I mean, you're just going to have to deny yourself, deny all the things that you want, deny your basic instincts, deny. And so people are not going to understand you, people are going to mock you, people are not going to really like you, and the things that you believe, and you really don't get anything in return from it. Most people wouldn't become Christian. And all that's actually true. But it's weird because to be a Christian is because you realize there's something bigger than yourself, and you realize that there is unconditional love out there. Uh, Someone who sacrificed everything for you, and you know, showing you how you can be better, be good, and so the goal is to do God's will, not your will. And so I would say to anyone who's starting off that do anything you can to get closer to God. And there's many ways you can do that. Prayer being the biggest. Going to church is a huge one. People these days, there's something, going on nowadays. And from my POV, I think it's demonic. People who are say you don't need to go to church. I used to have that mindset. You need to go to church. You need to find a church. You need to find a community of like-minded Christians, and that you can glorify God with, and be a family, a spiritual community with, and that's something that will get you closer to God. Reading the Bible, of course. Uh, for me, it's learning context in church history. I don't know if that's not everyone's jam, but for me, that's one of them. Is the history of the religion. Um, so, and the closer you get to God, the easier it is to do His will. And so that would be my advice: is to do everything you can to get closer to God. Um, it's like I said today in my video. Another thing to remember is this: God doesn't love you for what you do. God loves you for what you are, and you're going to fail. That's another thing too. It's when it comes to sin and stuff, you're going to fail. So just be prepared for that, but don't ever be discouraged by it, because the enemy wants you to be discouraged by your failures and sin. So that's some very very basic advice, initial advice that I would give to anyone who's starting out in the faith. And I wish you luck. Um, I hope God bless, and praise be to God that the journey isn't too rough, but it will be if you follow it thoroughly. Um, but you can do it. We can all do it. I believe in Scripture it says that God won't, something along the lines of God won't give us anything that we can't bear, So I saw your video from years ago titled Schizophrenic Episode on Camera, or something related to that. That's exactly what it was called. And then I subscribed, not thinking that you were uploaded Catholic content. Yes, I've changed. So, if I may ask, how did your journey happen over all those years from when you uploaded that video to now? Like I said, you're asking, you guys ask these questions that have so much years of things that happen that I can only give the most basic, vaguest forms of response. I grew up basically being schizophrenic after that. Get some followers on YouTube, do some YouTube talking about mental health. Life's kind of crappy, though, and then eventually I found God, and life got better. I don't know, it's just such a boring, there's so much to it that I can't just, go into, there's I'd be leaving a lot out. I wonder if you had ever heard about MBTI. No. Have you played or seen that new game that came out recently called Dispatch? It's a great story. That sounds familiar. Finding a church that believes in the Bible is completely inerrant is very difficult today. Absolutely. Hello, I subscribe to you. I was born cleft lip or palate. Sorry about that. I'm tearing up into my face for real. Oh, well, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, I don't know what it's like obviously, to deal with anything like that. Although it's funny, so obviously this is nothing compared to something like that. But I do have a scar on my lip, and kind of the same spot, I think. Uh, but it's actually a cat scratch, and I always forget I have it, and then sometimes I'm like, whoa, I have this big scar, and it's worse whenever I have a mustache or my beard's growing out, and then I shave, like, whoa, what's that? And it's like, oh, but I don't know if you guys can see it, but right here, you know. Hey, Poker Face, my dude, it's the goat, the legend, the man, the myth. Welcome, Poker Face. Glad you could be here today, dude. Hey, thanks. Hey, thanks, bro. Thanks, Muffin Jar. Glad you can make it. But, but now you think that your hallucinations have different meaning or something? Mm, I don't know. I don't really think about back then. I don't want to think about back then. I kind of see that part as my past, and don't even see me as even the same person as back then. So I don't even care. I don't even care to think about it. You know what I mean? Also down to be here, man. Good. I'm glad. Glad you can make it. Same crap as always. Oh, you guys are having a conversation. Okay. Okay. You guys are forming cliques in my chat. Oh no, I ain't doing that. I tried to run the Curse of Strahd. Then I forgot there's a lot of reading you got to do with modules, and I don't. This is why I like to make my own homebrew campaigns, because I don't have to just sit there and read other campaigns. I know what all's gonna happen because I made the story. How many scars you got, Mr. Evans? Uh, one, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8, 9, technically 10. So I have about 10 that I can think of. 10 scars. Are those all cast scratches? No, 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 they're not. Just this one. Well, so the only cat scratch I have is actually this one right here. That's it. Technically, this one's a cat bite. Same incident. Same thing. But it was scratch and then teeth sunk in here. Yeah. Favorite church father? St. Ignatius of Antioch. I don't know, he was the first one that popped in my head. So technically 7 from 3 occasions. W choice. I was waiting for someone like with the name Saint Ignatius of Antioch. Like, that's a great choice, or just based. And I remember what before I became Catholic, I was reading the early church fathers. That's what happens right before you become Catholic. I'm doing pretty good, poker face. How you doing, man? Glad you could be here. And I remember I was reading St. Ignatius of Antioch and reading what he said about the Eucharist, and I was like, who the hell's this asshole? Then I looked into him, and I was like, okay. What about his friends? What are they? And then I became Catholic. The best one is from when I got a pebble stuck inside my hand after a bike accident. I sterilized some scissors and removed it myself. True Sigma, bro. Watch out, we got Tommy Tough Knuckles over here. Wow, read the early church fathers and didn't choose orthodoxy. Shame. Look, no one cares about your orthodoxy, bro. I'm alright. Sorry, no, I'm sorry. I'm alright. I can't complain, but I do. Everyone Protestant until they read Saint Ignatius. Yeah, no, for real. Or just because Sammer's here and I don't, or sorry, Muffin Jar's here, I don't want him to like, you know, lose his marbles. Or they'll become Orthodox if they read the early church fathers too. Tommy Tough Knuckles is wild. Everyone Protestant until they read. I saw a thing that said that Reformation Day is like Pride Day for Protestants. I was like, that's good. I like that. I want to start using that. I never understood that. It's like, why are we celebrating Reformation Day? It's like, yay, let's just celebrate church rebellion, and then it's dividing, splitting the body of Christ, and rebellion against the church. I don't know. It's like, yeah, that's great. Let's do that. I don't mind your ducks with me. The flag on the meme was wild. No, it was absolutely wild. I will change my name to Mr. Tough Knuckles, not Tommy Tough Knuckles. Mr. Tough Knuckles. So you grew up in a Christian household, and then later you further found no. I grew up atheist, and then on turn 20 I became non-denominational evangelical Christian, and then 7 months ago I converted to Catholicism. Is that drink unlimited? I'm glad you asked. No, it's not. I feel it's the top because I get parched doing these, man. All this talking, I'm getting low though. I might have to get me more when I'm done, but I can't. Gotta get my hydration in. Hi, Frank Dozier. Is that how you pronounce it? How you doing today? Glad you make it. The Catholic Church railed against the Bible being translated outside of Latin so that it would be less accessible and you'd have to go to the priest. Wow. We love straw man history, right? So, fun fact, a lot of people knew what was in the Bible, even in medieval times. It wasn't something that like yes, it was in Latin, but like people knew what was in it, and our doctrine has remained the same for 2,000 years, and it doesn't contradict the doctrine. So, even if it was true, even if the church didn't want people to read the Bible, which in many ways I could kind of understand in the sense of people would take the Bible and then interpret it into whatever they want it to be and possibly start their own churches because they think they know what the Bible means and they think they know what the doctrine is, but they weren't established by Christ, or the doctrine wasn't established by people who knew Christ personally, like the apostles. And so that's why that I truly believe in an apostolic faith. So that's Catholicism and Orthodoxy, is because if you trace back those churches, they were started on 33 AD on the day of Pentecost uh, by the apostles and whoever they elected. So Jesus Christ elected the apostles as bishops, and then those apostles formed doctrine over time, and then they elected their bishops, and so yeah, and then there's all the councils. The Council of Nicaea lays down what does it actually mean to be a Christian, and then then later there's the Council of Rome, the Council of Hippo, and the Council of Carthage, etc. That where they took Scripture because the church decided they wanted to make compile a bunch of Scripture together and make what is going to be called the Holy Bible. This is about 400 years after Christ, 450 or so, and in the end, they decided on the books that are in the Bible today. Well, at least in the Catholic Bibles, because the Catholic Bibles have 73 books, and then over time, Protestants removed the deuterocanonical books. So the Catholic Bible has had 73 books for 16,000 years or so. So, yeah, fun fact. Let's read. Do you even know what a straw man is? Well, straw man is more of a fallacy, really. That's why Catholicism has shrunk immensely since Vatican II. No, I mean overall, like doctrine has remained the same. Wasn't Luther an ordained Catholic priest? He was, yes. Doctrine changed drastically at Vatican II. The entire catechism was revised. But doctrine has remained the same, like core doctrine. I'm not religious, but I'm glad you found something that helps you. Thanks, man. I went to RCA too. I know all this is BS apologetics. All right, man. In 367 AD is when it was canonized. Yeah. I just stopped by to say God bless everyone in Jesus' wonderful name, amen. Absolutely, you too, man. God bless. Do you feel more fulfilled having God in your life, or the same? Fulfilled? That's a really weird word to put it, because life actually gets harder. Like I said, I've talked about this before. Life gets harder when you become a Christian, and you actually feel a lot lonelier and emptier. But for the sake of God and everything that He has done for you, and everything that, like, I guess it's all about the Spirit and the true meaning of knowing, like, the sacrifice of Christ and how everything came to be with the religion and with the prophecy and everything. I always said that, like, if you took me 3 years ago before I became a Christian and you were like, hey, um, you're going to deny yourself, you're going to deny everything that you want to do, you're going to die, people are going to persecute you, you're going to all these things, right? I would, and like, I could feel what it felt like to be a Christian without understanding the full knowledge and everything. I would probably run and crawl through hell to not be a Christian. But if you showed me what it felt like, despite all that, to be close to God, to feel God, and to feel the love of God, and to, feel that peace, then I would crawl and run through hell to chase it. And so there is an enlightenment to it. There is a peace to it. But it doesn't make you happier. Don't expect happiness. Don't expect to gain anything. The only thing that you may gain is more peace from the Spirit, I suppose, is the best way. That is what you may gain. But of course, there can be many fruits in which God can bless you with, but it's best not to expect, I would say. Can you explain why you feel more lonely becoming a Christian? I feel, well, mostly because I feel isolated from everyone else that I know. Either everyone I know isn't a Christian. If they are a Christian, either they're not in the same, they're maybe not as hardcore into it as I am. And if they are, maybe it's not the same way that I am. And so it can be very lonely. Be very lonely. It's bittersweet. To be a Christian is to be bitter. It's very bittersweet. I'd be in hell without Jesus. Thank you, Jesus, for coming where I was and saving my never-dying soul. Amen. I watched your oldest videos of your episode. It hit me so hard I could barely watch it. I have OCD and it's super hard, and people always feel bad, but I remind them of people like you, strong people. Well, I'm not strong. That's the thing. I'm not strong. Christ is strong, and it's only through Him do I have the strength to be doing what I'm doing. I can't do it on my own. And that's something else that comes with being a Christian, is realizing that you can't do anything. It's actually Jesus Christ that working through you and getting closer to Him that can you actually accomplish anything. I do understand the isolating part. It's mostly because others can't understand why you are abstaining from certain things. There's a lot that you abstain from as a Christian. There's a lot of that, it's just whatever. I'm devoted to the folk saints, Santa. I still love Jesus. Organized religion is a grift, and the Catholic Church is undeniably infused Platonist and Religio-Romanian elements. Okay, man. Well, I don't really know what all that means. I'm gonna be flat out honest with you. I don't really know what all that means. All I know is when I look at the history and I look at where the church came from and what it has, and I trust in the authority of it. I trust in the authority of it because that's what Christ did. That's kind of where I'm at with that. Yes, I got you, Sammer. You're right. Yes, I got you. He feels lonely because he's trying to convert everyone around him, and they're Christian, but they aren't Christian enough or pure enough. Okay, man. Like I said, I don't know. I'm not trying to convert anybody. I mean, it'd be nice if people did, but at this point, I don't even. At this point, I really need to work on my faith and where I'm at. And I've said what I've said. I truly, truly, truly feel from my heart in the Apostolic Church. I truly feel that it is the one true church. And it's not that I really don't even, I don't even feel, it's not even a feeling at this point. It's just an undeniable fact that it was started by Jesus Christ Himself, and all these things happened. And I would say that it's to the point to where it's if it's not Catholic or Orthodox, I'm convinced Christianity's not real. It's not and that scares me, and I don't, because I'm not Christian I'm not Catholic because, even Christian. I'm not Christian because I want to be. I'm not Catholic because I want to be Catholic. I found my faith because of the historical evidence and the science behind it. The science of God and the historical evidence of Jesus and what He did. And in doing so, it's the same reason why I'm Catholic. And I'm not Catholic because I want to be. Trust me, life was way easier when I was an evangelical Protestant. It's way easier. If it was that simple, I would, trust me, but regardless, this is where God has led me, and this is where I want to be, and this is where I will remain to be. It's what I'm called to be doing, and it's what I want to continue doing. It's what I love to do. How do you define salvation? Well, we are only saved by the grace of God. That's it. Only by the grace of God can we be saved. That's the easiest and the best answer to give. Um, I don't, you know, sure there are things that I think that as we can give criteria on, I suppose that, you know, we know what we're not supposed to do, and here are a list of things that we know get you closer to God, and here's a list of things we know that take you away from God. And so we can put two and two together and kind of like, well, your odds of being saved by doing these things, you know, and participating in things are high, but they're not guaranteed. And that's because we're not God. We're simply just men. And so we're saved by the grace of God. Let's see. I used to watch your vids all the time. Oh, wow, there's a lot going on in chat. I've been talking way too much. By the nature of following Christ, you become lonely. Yeah, exactly. Well, so it's this idea of theosis, right? It's an old ancient idea of, you know, God came down as man to teach man how to be like God. And we can't ever really do that without Christ. And so we try to follow Christ. To be a Christian is to try to be like Christ, to follow in his footsteps and do what he commands of us. And we have to get closer in order to do those things. And so whenever you live a life that's like Christ, whenever you're living a life that's more godly, I suppose, and you do more of the things that's required of you, the worse life gets. And it gets hard. And I mean, think about it, like Jesus, like, I mean, he suffered every sort of suffering ever to exist: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, you know. Even his family, you know, turned against him at times. So it's just one of those things, you know. And then, but yeah, is this like a local church group? No, this is just my channel. I have not received the sacraments yet. I am currently in OCIA. No, I am not Catholic yet, but I'm Catholic by intent. But I'm definitely happy with where I am, and I know that I'm going on the right path. Another thing too is it's so interesting on how much people just absolutely crap on me because I'm not Catholic yet. It baffles me. It's like, oh well, you're right. I'm not Catholic yet because I'm not in communion, but I would gladly give my life for Christ and the church. I would. There's nothing more that I yearn for than the Eucharist. There's nothing more that I want than to be baptized, uh, especially into the church. These are all things that I yearn for. These are all things that I want. And if I had to wait until I was 80 to have these things, I would still be doing it because the Eucharist is the thing that I absolutely want the most in life. And it's just weird. I feel like so many people disregard me entirely. Not even just Protestants, but just even other Catholics. It's like, oh, well, you're not part of the church yet, so you don't know anything. It's like, I guarantee you that I know more than most cradle Catholics. And I've been told this by cradle Catholics. That doesn't mean I'm worthy to partake in the Eucharist. But I'm saying I know what the church consists of. I know the history and the sacraments. I know this is what I'm supposed to do. I know this is what I want to do. Um, but if I'm supposed to wait until Easter Vigil to become Catholic and receive the sacraments, then I will definitely do it. And I'm excited for it. I'm really happy for it. I understand that, man. I understand that. No, I've not made it all the way through OCIA. Who was in Paris? I've never been to Paris. I mean, I know that there was changes to Vatican II. I know that let's see. So there was a total of 23 million Catholics. I want to say left the church whenever Vatican II went into effect. But here's the thing: defined. I don't think defined doctrine has ever changed in anything. And even so, even if theoretically it did, I trust in the church magisterium. I trust into the church that was entrusted by Christ. You know. Well, originally the YouTube channel started about talking about mental health, but then it became talking about, you know, the faith. And that's really it. And I really enjoy talking about the faith. It's one of my favorite things to do. Yeah, the Vatican, it's the headquarters of the Catholic Church. But yeah, very interesting stuff. I think I'd like to go to the Vatican. But at the same time, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I feel like it's something like anyone who's like Catholic would want to go to the Vatican, but like I think it's more I would just scared to leave the U.S. Have you ever thought about opening discussions with two other denominations? What do you mean? Did you see my last message? No, poker face. I did not. What did you put? I know I have. So I have the Faith Talks thing where I interview different Christians of different denominations and like just talk about their story and their denomination and everything. No, poker face. What did you put? I think so far. So far I've done a non-denominational, a former Mormon who's now well. So I've done a non-denominational who's seeking the. I did a Mormon who's now a non-denominational, and then my dad who's former Presbyterian, now evangelical non-denominational. I'm annoying him daily with orthodoxy, so don't worry about him being denominationally isolated. Trust me, no, I'm definitely not. There's people all over. I pray as much as I can, but I feel like I'm always asking for help and guidance. Should I be doing it another way? Well, well, praying is probably the go-to number one form way of connecting with God. You also need to kind of know how God works, and also like for me, I learn more about God and the history behind things and how He works and talking to Him and surrounding yourself by things that are like Him. You know, surrounding yourself by the media you consume involving people talking about God, things like that. Those things really, really help drastically. Yes, with Christianity itself, then you have to consider opening conversations to other faiths. Yeah, well, my idea behind it, right, as a Catholic, is how are we supposed to convert atheists to the faith when, like, our faith is so broken up into a bunch of different things? And so, and I think a lot of other Catholics have that viewpoint, and so they really try hard to evangelize Protestants, but I think both are equally important. And I think that oftentimes people focus too much on Protestants. And I think a lot of Catholics just don't understand that most Protestants just don't care. Like, they just don't care. It doesn't matter if you. I've even seen, you know, Protestants even agree to something, but still then deny, like, so you agree that this makes sense that the Catholic Church, you know, has apostolic succession or the Eucharist is, yeah, that makes sense. Oh, I get it. But you're not going to be Catholic. No. So, okay. You know. So I think at the same time, it's good to even, I mean, I feel like eventually you kind of dust your sandals. You know what I mean? I have to go. Sorry for being. See ya. See you, dude. See you later. See you, Sam Knight. I'm glad you stopped by. It was good seeing you, man. You know, I don't think I've ever actually fasted before. I don't really know how to really do that. I can tell an ex addict I see one. If you're talking about me, you're tripping. I'm not an ex addict to anything. I'm allowed to have certain pagan beliefs. Not really, no. Um, yeah, no. Especially, really, especially if it involves worshiping another god, or like, yeah, no, not really, no. That's a rough look then, Brody. Dang, thanks, man. Appreciate it. I agree about the fasting idea. It really helps. I've heard fasting is the, like one of the number one ways to like what you call it, get closer to God. So I definitely need to do it. I just need to know. I know there's like a certain way you're supposed to do it. I think, and so like I need to figure that out. Their prayer doesn't always come with feeling, asking for help and guidance, thanking God, or doing it to help your mind calm with things, just like the Jesus prayer. Yeah. You get diarrhea when fasting? That's crazy. Maybe is that like your body like cleansing itself? Maybe. You say Aphrodite and Thor are real. I agree with you. I do agree they are real, but I agree. But I believe that they are demons and not actually legitimate gods. So that's probably where we differ. At least I hope so. That'd be kind of weird if you're like, yes, I agree. They're also demons, and she was like, oh, okay. That usually ends up being a dietary thing. If you're in the Discord, just shoot me a message, same username. Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like it's almost like, yeah, I don't know, it's weird. I don't use Discord, but I will consider getting it. Yeah, man, come on, you gotta join the Lord's Unity Discord server. Join my server, bro. We need more people to be active in there. Okay, then maybe I'm Satan. Nah, man, it doesn't mean you're Satan. It just means that you're worshiping pagan gods. Or demon gods. I don't know what you call it, but yeah. I will say though, I will say, I do. There is a pagan tradition though that is my favorite pagan tradition, and that's converting to Christianity. So, if you're all about pagan traditions and stuff, I recommend that one. That's a good one. Brent, I fasted before. We'll chat tonight if you want. No, I don't like you. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, sure. We could do that. Yeah. At this point, I really like the DC Comics creator narrative. I don't know what that means. Yeah, I don't know what that means. Fasting is so hard for me. I went about 32 hours, and that's all I can handle. So this is like, you mean like fasting from like all food? That was cold, my guy. No, you know I'm not serious. Maybe a little bit. For the record, I'm not schizophrenic, but I have major depressive disorder and severe anxiety disorder. I too am susceptible to religious psychosis and suffered for 3 years. Hey man, that sucks, dude. It's a terrible thing. Every other religion fasts from food and water, by the way, not just meat. Yeah, I don't. I don't really know how fasting works. I know this like this is more of a cultural thing. I don't think this is a doctrine thing because I know that not all Catholics do this, but also that again, a lot of Catholics don't do things we're supposed to do, but they do them anyways or don't do them. But I know on Fridays you're not supposed to eat meat, but I forget about that, so like, I don't know. Which that'd be a good one for me because like my diet consists of nothing but meat, water, and dairy. That's the only thing I can. Oh, and carbs. So carbs, meat, water, and dairy. That's like the only thing that I eat. Christianity is actually paganism and Judaism put together to create a new religion. Well, look at the big brain on this guy. So, Christianity is like Reform Judaism, is really just all that is. Now, you could say Catholicism is because there are some, what you calls it, cultural things that were once from pagan gods, but that didn't really define the doctrine. So the doctrine itself isn't pagan, and the god isn't pagan, so you can't say it's pagan. But there are some cultural things at different parts of Catholic areas that have like pagan like rituals and stuff because of well, the people there used to be pagan and then they converted to Christianity, but they still wanted to hold on to those traditions. So instead, if it involved like worship or something, they would do it to the one true God instead of their false demon, whatever gods. Because in the Christian doctrine, anything that's not, you know, God in the sense of the Christian God is demonic slash false. Do you think that sometimes someone can still be all right with God if they are unchurched and deny doctrines like the Trinity without denying the deity of Christ? I don't know. So I'm not God, right? That's up to God to make such a judgment like that. Um, I know the things that you're supposed to believe in. I know the things that but I don't. We know what things we're not supposed to do, the things we are supposed to do, but we're not God. And so I would say that historically, you're not a Christian if you don't believe in the Trinity. Right? Historically, that does not make you Christian. But whether or not you are saved or whatever, you know, if God puts you in His grace, God puts you in His grace. He judges your heart accordingly. So, um, you know what I mean? That's kind of where I stand with that. Well, the Romans weren't Catholic when they crucified Christ. So what happened was is the Jews uh, allowed the Jews and the Romans. We'll say the Jews and the Romans in this case crucified Christ. Christ rose. Uh, a bunch of Jews converted to almost like a reformed version of Judaism, which would be like Christianity, and that at that time was the Catholic Church. And I'm not talking about Roman Catholic. I'm talking Catholic, meaning the universal church started by Christ. And and you can find this in earlier writings, you know. And then eventually the apostles like Peter, Paul, you know, went to Rome, and then there was the Roman Rite. So the Catholic Church is not just Roman Catholic. People oftentimes just automatically go, "Oh, Roman Catholic," and it's like, yeah, that's 90% of the Catholic Church, but there's other rites part of the Catholic Church, like the Byzantine or the Syrian or um, those are some examples, right? And so when I say the Catholic Church, I don't mean Roman Catholic per se. I'm talking just the universal body of churches that are under or that are in communion with one another, that share the same doctrine and authority. Catholicism didn't exist until the Battle of Milvian. Okay, yeah, but here's the thing. If that's true, then that means we can't really trust any of a Christian doctrine, if that's true. And we have writings like from 107 AD from St. Ignatius of Antioch, who was a student of John the Revelator, who even used the word in writing the Catholic Church. And this is just the universal church. And so Catholicism is not limited to Roman Catholicism. Catholicism is Catholicism. Like I said, it's a doctrine of churches that are in communion with one another, who's had this same doctrine for 2,000 years. I'm going to head out and work out, man. If you're off stream, I'll shoot you a text. Have a blessed night. What time is it? I'll do the same, actually. Yeah, I'll do the same. But, guys, thank you for being here. God bless. Be sure to like and subscribe if you have not already. I appreciate you guys. Glad you guys can make it and be here. Believe what you like if it makes you happy. I guess that's one way to look at it. I can't put my thoughts on mainstream religion on here. It stays behind closed doors. You can say whatever you want, man. I'm not going to limit anybody to whatever they feel. I mean, in my religion, God gave us free will, so we can express that however we want to. But, anyways. Okay, hold on. I got a long-ass question. Excuse me, I know this question isn't related to the Trinity, but since you've always on the topic of Christianity, I was wondering how you guys define prophet, because for Paul, I thought he was one. Yeah, so Paul is a prophet, I suppose, or he's not a prophet, but he was a apostle, I suppose, if you will. Apostle Paul, yeah. And how do we define a prophet, though? So a prophet would be someone who prophesizes, I suppose. I guess you could argue even John the Revelator could be a prophet with revelations, I suppose. But it's kind of a weird word to put out now, I would say. I don't know what the church's stance on, like, modern prophets. But to be a prophet, you have to prophesize. That is what it means to be, and they have to come true, right? So that's what it means to be a prophet. So, anyways, thank you guys for being here. I love you guys so much. Be sure to like and subscribe. If you subscribe, hit the bell icon so you know when I post more content, and like it to see more streams. I love you guys so much. I'm glad to be here, and I will see you guys next time I stream, I guess. All right, I love you guys so much. God bless.